Yo, 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 what's up, baby? How's everybody doing? So this is going to be a different kind of content for my channel. I'm going to try something a little bit new. And I tell you what, everybody knows that Tekken 8 is in bad shape right now. So, whoops, I was gonna make a new thumbnail. Well, it's too late now. I guess we'll just stick with the Nina thumbnail. This is why you gotta have a checklist of things to do before you go live. Anyway, Tekken 8 predictions for the tournament scene. Here's what is like. Here's what's kind of sad about this, because the game is in such bad shape. I don't think. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and make this content. Believe me, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But I really don't think that there's much good that can come of this current meta, and I'll show you why. My predictions. Well, let's just go to the character select screen. All right, now they say the Tekken team says that they are going to do this hot fix patch thing that's coming up, whatever. But they didn't talk about making all this big Tekken stuff that they have going on into basically just stuff for scrubs to do at green ranks, which is what I think is one of in my opinion, is the biggest problem with the game. Nina is really strong. She was really strong in Season 1. She will be again now. The nerfs really didn't do anything. She is my main, but I don't really like to watch her dominate a game that's not any good. It was really hype whenever Jod was kicking ass with Nina in Tekken 7 because she wasn't just so good. So yeah, Nina's gonna be really strong. I think that Double, the Japanese player, will do really well with Law. I think he's not, if he plays Law, I don't think he's as strong, but I think he has the ability to just dominate rounds. JDCR, I think of Dragunov. Dragunov's been nerfed quite a bit, but I still think this game suits him. You know, he's still a runaway freight train. Arslan, I think he'll probably play Nina. He might play someone else. Everybody might play Jack. Who knows? Because Jack has... Which one am I playing as? I'll just pick both. I can't remember what I had this on. Jack has... They say they're going to fix this, but I don't know what that means. Because... Well, I should probably get the patch notes in front of me. esports.gg, let's see if you're good. Alright, this has the emergency patch notes. To answer the initial question of why anybody would click this video, as to like what are my predictions for the tournament scene, I think it's just going to be about who can dominate like the buttons. Like who is just going to be, I don't know, keeping their plus frames and doing the most mid-homing. You know, if there's big Tekken, like, which one am I? 2-1, no, 2-1, 2-1. I don't know what the string is. Everybody does it though. What is this string? 2, 1, 1 plus 2 is what I thought it was. Should be a 3-part thing, that's what I'm looking for. Oh, it's called Make Some Noise. Ah, here we go. 2, no, damn it. You can see I don't know how to cheese. 2, 1. Christ on a candlestick. But what is the move after that? Shift to Gamma Howl on hit or block. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how this fucking move works. But I know that people do it all the time. And before, this is what Jack was good at in the past. Backdash, up, back. You know? Give him one of those. No. You know, if you were really good, you could do the big, I don't know how to do that either, but you could do the big follow-up, you know. 2, 1. But it doesn't say how to shift into Gamma Howl. Anyway, this scrub shit is too difficult for me. Jack used to be a poking character, you know, mid. You notice something about these moves. This is a down 4-1. It's got a ton of range. It's 14 frames. Alright, so it's not like a huge move. This sidestep 2, 17 frames. But it's a high, but it has a big reward if you land it. You get 49 damage. Okay? 2, 1, up, forward. This is a huge move. And you get a ton of options out of this. I've had people attack me with this. I don't actually know how it works as far as the inputs go. Which, you know, may make me sound like the biggest scrub of all time. But this backdash also does not cut it whenever moves can attack from a billion miles away. Alright, that's a pretty fast backdash. You know? And I'm canceling that. So that's, you know. That backdash is nothing. In this game, all you do is, like, it seems like who can get plus frames first. And you die almost if you block. Like, that's, you know, that's really the direction it feels like the game is going in. Oh, I don't even have my text-to-speech turned on, if somebody does show up. Well, maybe I do. We gotta get this thing going. Because if somebody shows up to talk, I want to hear what they have to say.
Fighting for laughs. Said. Test.
Okay. Alright, it's turned on, even though from what I'm looking at, it doesn't look like it's turned on. Alright, so they've said that they're going to take out a lot of this. I'm not FeedEX, I'm not good at this super specific stuff, but I'm going to show you in a few minutes what the game feels like and what it feels like to play. But I'm not one of these genius guys that is able to just go through it line by line and be like, this is why everything sucks. What I can tell you is this is big Tekken. 2, 2, 1. Fuck me. Up, forward. That's big Tekken. This is small Tekken. That's a 12 frame low. Alright? What if I backdash, get in his face, backdash? You know? Create some space, and then run up with, you know, get some plus frames. The point is, I just need to demonstrate this with a different character. But let's just, I don't know. Let's try to stick to the script. I'm so bad at this. Anyway, top contenders, Nina. I think what's going to disrupt the meta is that the game started to look like it required skill towards the end of Season 1. And they've made a bunch of changes now to make it look like somebody could pick up the game and then go to Evo. You know, like anybody can just do it. They've just... Everything is basically magnetized to you. Every attack is impossible to get away from. It's just stupid, well, is what it feels like. It's not actually true. I will show that there's some things that aren't actually true about that. But yeah, Yoshi is still super strong. Dragunov's still super strong. Fingway's still strong. Depending on how they deal with this BS that they've given Jack, he might be super strong. A lot of people are picking him up and playing him. King, super strong. He has homing throws when he has heat, and that's already a true mix-up, because Giant Swing is a one break, but he still extends both arms, so you can't tell which one it is. You just have to guess and hope for the best. And now it's homing, which is, it just makes it bad. All right, so the roster rundown, everybody that was strong in Season 1 is going to be strong again. All right, that, yeah. Let's, I guess I could just go back to character selection since I don't know how to actually show the, whatever. Paul, they said Paul has some unblockable cheese at the wall right now that people have been beating people up with. They said they're going to hotfix that, so that won't be in the game. Clive is, but they did give him a stupid mid-high mix-up now, where now he has a homing launcher, I think a normal hit that's a high, that you're supposed to duck. That's the counterplay, because it's homing, you can't step it. And if you block it, it's safe. So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to duck it. But Paul has the hardest hitting mid in the game, the Death Fist. And he has had it for a long time. My other prediction is Lee is not going to be good in this current meta. But it doesn't take a scientist to figure that out. He's not going to be good because they nerfed him, took away his identity, and made him into a trashy, you know, Tekken 8 cookie cutter character. I think Kazuya could be a dark horse. I mean, Keisuke is so good with him. But again, even in this current state, Mishimas are very movement-based, but they gave him the homing moves. So now, it doesn't really matter where you step him, because he can use his homing move. Nina was strong, she's going to be strong. Hwoarang has never really been strong at the tournament level, because people are so good at defense, but I don't know, he might be. Bingwei, just an absolute ridiculous character, he'll still be strong. Clive, impossible to tell what he's doing. I mean, they need to nerf his particle effects. I can't see what he's doing. Leroy has a looping, you know, plus frame mix-up that he can do. That's a bunch of garbage. Lydia, terribly designed as well. Brian has a bunch of broken moves. You know, take your pick. I think Nii is going to play him, and I think Nii is going to do really well. I think Low-High, both Korean tournament players, I think they'll both play Nii. They'll probably both do really well. From what I know, Kudans he's another champion player. He's probably going to go back to playing Devil Jin. Devil Jin's had some buffs, but just the current state of the game is just what it's going to be at tournaments is if you get hit by a combo, you're going to die. All right? That's the meta. Anna has the move swaps thing. Hopefully they'll have that out. Chip is still really strong. Kuma will still be really strong. Heihachi still doesn't have the most threatening lows in the world, so I don't really think he'll be that great. I still don't think Eddie's just a cheese lord. I don't think that he's going to be that great. Claudio's really good at playing small Tekken, and he has enough cheese to keep him in the game. Zafina has been nerfed. She won't be very good, I don't think. Raven just doesn't have the absolute blow the barn doors off, you know, kind of stuff that Tekken 8 characters have. He doesn't have the nuclear bombs that everyone else has. Elise is going to be strong. Lars is going to be strong. Jin is going to be criminally strong. He has loopable offense that just forces you to either die by chip, you know, you either keep blocking it until you die by chip, or you guess at some point and get hit by a launcher and die, which is just a miserable way to do the game. I think Azucena might be a dark horse. She could be good. They've changed her running into stance stuff. So she's really suitable for all the cheese that the game, how they want you to play. You know, they want you to just dominate and let the other player never get a turn. Yeah, so that's the roster rundown, the top contenders, unexpected dark horses, and the tournament scene outlook. I think, judging by what a lot of people are saying, players, you know, professional players, that they're making content, they're saying they're not going to play anymore, that they're not going to travel for the game in its current state, and they're not going to incur, you know, expenses. They'd rather just stream something else. A lot of people don't even want to play this game anymore, you know, the tournament players. So yeah, the Tekken team, they have released a patch. They said they're going to change a bunch of things and fix everything, that they're going to incorporate everybody's feedback. And I'm going to do a little bit here in a sec where I talk about some changes that I would like to see. Just an overall, like, approach to the game that I think would really help in bringing in new players, retaining old players, and making pretty much everybody happy. And I'll go over that in just a little bit. But the upcoming tournament scene, I think it's going to be a downgrade. I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I think it's going to be a downgrade from... Oh my god, I just realized I never checked my mic. Alright, the mic is on. I am so paranoid when it comes to the mic. And I can't see the chat. Where's the chat? Nah, that ain't it. Well, I've completely derailed what I was talking about. Where you at, dude? You're supposed to be showing up right here. Well, I guess I'll fix this and then we'll pop it out again. Hey, what's up? We got a concurrent viewer. How you doing, baby? Alright. Let's make sure we got this fixed. Brother, what is the deal? Alright, finally. Alright, so where's my script? Forget this. I won't be able to figure that out in time. Tekken 8's tournament scene, and now all my doom and gloom that I've been going over, where it's going to be pros are going to hit you with one combo and then you're going to die. You get hit by one combo. Shaheen could be good. He's always been good in the meta since he's been introduced. But you're going to get hit with one combo. It's going to carry you to the wall, bust you through the floor, knock you through the glass, explode you off the wall. Like, one combo is going to be death, even with the health bonus. Because the meta's already revolving around chip. Like, that's why Kuma's really good. That's why Anna's gonna be good. And Anna has never been a good meta character. She's not supposed to be, because she's supposed to be a coin flippy character. She's not high risk, high reward. And winning tournaments is all about minimizing risk and getting the most reward. So it's just a philosophy, a design philosophy that's just wrong. But everybody has already said that, alright? But what I am gonna predict is, even though the meta is going to start out for this tournament scene in Season 2, I think it's going to start out horrible, boring, tough to watch, you know? I think a lot of people, the game's going to lose even more viewers because it's just not going to be very much fun to watch, I don't think. Because it's just going to be who can dominate, like who can prevent the other player from ever having their turn. Can I just continuously attack and you never do anything until you finally guess right, and then you prevent me from ever getting a chance to do anything? That's the way the game's set up. So that's my prediction for early Tekken 8 tournament scene in Season 2. But I do think that the shareholders are probably pissed at Bandai Namco that the game is getting such horrible reviews. I do think sales are going to tank, and in order to right the ship, they're going to have to start making the community happy again. And by doing that, they're going to have to make the game less aggressive. So They've promised to do continuous patches, so my prediction for the end of Season 2 tournament scene in Tekken 8 is that I think it'll be better. And I'm optimistic that they will make enough changes and integrate enough smart criticism of the game that I'm not obviously capable of making, that they'll be able to make people happy again. Now let me show you some things with two of my favorite characters that I think Tekken 8, the tournament scene, in conclusion, my call to action is to subscribe for more incompetent commentary. But I think that they finally understand that they've screwed up. They did ignore intentionally all of the good feedback from Season 1 that could have helped prevent what we have now. They did willfully ignore that and lied about what the game would be about in Season 2. That's all true, okay? Don't nobody think that I ain't trying to lick no boots. I'm telling you, I agree. They definitely did not listen to us. We told them what was wrong with the game. And they ignored us and decided to just do whatever they wanted to do and just completely ignore us. Let me show you some things that I think would help as far as design philosophy goes. Alright. Going forward. And I'm gonna be screwing up this menuing. Alright, standing block all. Alright. Okay, this is me. So here's the thing. That string, when I first started playing Devil Jin, is one of the first characters I ever wanted to get good at. I loved that string. This is back in Tekken 7. I didn't really play much back in Tekken 5. That was my first Tekken. That's what you're supposed to be like getting good at, is you know, I'll miss it if I keep trying. But you're supposed to get good at electrics, right? And this is pretty small Tekken right here. This move's not that egregious. You know, that's all right. But this is for scrubs, okay? That's big Tekken. That's big Tekken. This is not for scrubs, okay? This is small. 1-1, like just -10. That is not much. That's pretty low risk, and you got to be fast to punish that. You got to be looking for it. There's also the risk of the third hit. That's not something I learned with Devil Jin early on. It took forever for me to learn that with Devil Jin. I thought this was good. -25, if you'll notice, in the corner. I also thought that was really good. -22, very easy to punish. This was my normal hit launcher that I would try to trick people into running into. As you can see, it's -15. These moves have a purpose, that they are there for scrubs. This is not designed to win a tournament. This low, 21 frames, not that great. This low, 18 frames, that's a decent poke. But this should not be launch punishable. This is a 12 frame poke. Alright, this is small Tekken. 12 frame, 10 frame. That 13 frame, that should not be -6. For -6, I mean, you might as well just never do this and always do this. You know? Where's the poking? That stuff is small Tekken. The game needs to be, in order for it to be successful again, they need to incentivize people to use those moves. Small Tekken, okay? And the good old electric, alright? We need to be playing around moves like that. Now, this, from a million miles away, +11, this is like, this kind of messes up the meta, alright? Because what you're supposed to be doing is, like, he could be playing keep out, you know? My enemy here, he could be playing keep out, and I'm trying to play a little bit of rush down. I'm trying to get into his face. I use my approach tool. Alright, we're good so far. He should be able to step this both ways if he wants. But if he does, I have an unsafe homing tool that is very effective, okay? But it's not supposed. No homing tool should be totally safe, and no homing tool should be plus on block. That is just an absurdity. These moves are meant to do something specific. They're not supposed to take over the game, Alright? They're not supposed to be the strongest thing in the game. I got some rice cooking over there. I'm gonna take a little break before I address that. Throws. This comes out in 12 frames. What does this one come out in? 12 frames for a command throw. And it's a big reward for a difficult command. I missed it 3 times. But you know what? It is duckable and it doesn't track. So that is a properly balanced move. But you take something like this. Like, this shouldn't track. This should be totally linear. Alright? I'm not advocating for Devil Gen. I'm saying this is for every character. My basic point is, this stuff was around and was good. You know, and of course there was this. The good old Hell Sweep. This stuff was around and it was good a long time. And it's still good. But it should be the emphasis of high-level play. The emphasis of high-level play should not be into my stance, into a thing. Into my stance, into a thing. Into my stance, into a thing. That is boring as shit. And it's called Big Tekken. This is Big Tekken. Okay? Now, the people who made this, they knew it sucked. Alright? The people who made this knew that this didn't need to be good. Minus 15 is an appropriate. That's minus 29 is fine. Minus 15. Minus 3. Minus 2. You can add new stuff to the game that scrubs, and I was a massive scrub. And according to the Tekken Reddit, if I were to, you know, post my gameplays there, I would still be a massive scrub. But I had a lot of fun doing this, okay? I still have some fun doing it. I'll still do down forward 1, sidestep 2. It'll make some things whiff, you know? But the point is, when you're a scrub, you don't give a shit, okay? It's only when you decide to be intermediate and want to actually get good that you... Excuse me. That you start being like, I gotta master this electric stuff, you know, so I can play an electric keep out, you know? I gotta get good at KBD. Of course, now KBD doesn't even matter, but I gotta get good at Hell Sweep, you know? I can't just do this in neutral anymore, which is also something I used to love to do. Just run up and CD1. But these big moves, they were really fun for scrubs, but they don't need to be given properties that make them good. And then I'll give you an example of, like, some gameplay, quick select, of a character who is near and dear to me, of course. Love this character. We'll go with that one. So maybe I can finally demonstrate my point about how Big Tekken is not supposed to be good. Actually, let's do... Well, yeah, okay. Give me 1 second to load my game. Alright. So, let me just show the problem with Chip. You take a high-level concept like this, those cancels, that was like a quarter life. And I didn't even do cancels the entire time. Imagine if I whiff punished with this, you know, with this heat engager. All heat engagers should be minus. That is a well balanced. Minus 14 is good for a heat engager. Okay, this should not be safe. Okay, this is okay. Minus 14, that's pretty good. This is not one anymore, but minus 14 is pretty decent. I mean, that's pretty good balancing. But the thing is, you should not be able to chip away a quarter of somebody's life like that. I don't care, like, the snake shot cancel is not particularly easy to do. It's taken me a lot of practice to get it down. But she blocked, the CPU blocked every single attack. They shouldn't lose a quarter of their life, you know? That shouldn't be minus 15 either. That's small Tekken. Let me make sure this is working again. Not that anybody's here, but we'll just make sure.
Fighting for laughs. Said. Test.
Alright. So that's good. That's good that that's working. The game should look more like this. Down forward 1. That's a good down forward 1. That should be minus 14 because it has a lot of reward. It's 13 frames fast, minus 14 to punish. That's good because you're not supposed to. This is a good move. 15 and lockdown mid. Good mid. Down back 2. All those moves are fine. Where we started getting into a problem though is like there's no way really for somebody to like get away from this move. Nina is a rushdown character. Alright? But this, that's so far away. Also, let's take a full one of these. Okay, well that wasn't bad. Let's see if I can get it to block. That's so far away. And it's... Wait, which one is which? Because I've got switch sides on. Don't switch position. +1? Why is this not -9? That is not hard to do. That takes forever. Do that, all that animation into that. You should lose your turn right there. That stance transition should get blown up every time. The CPU should be able to just down forward to you out of that. Just pop you right out. If you keep mashing after that, because that's big Tekken. That's what I'm talking about. Big Tekken is, it's not fun for really anybody. You see this type of movement, run in, jab. You know? Sidestep. You know? Stuff like that. That's small Tekken. Or one of these. You know, if they're pressuring you too much, give them a little 11 frame counter hit. Now, I don't think the reward should be so big for counter. Like, I think characters should have fast counter hit kill moves, but I think they should only give like a follow-up. Because we saw in Tekken 7, people started... Combos were so dangerous that you just started like trying to bait out a whiff and you just be two guys basically not attacking, being like, you attack first and then I'll land this perfect, you know, counter hit, or, you know, I'm gonna just get up close and then low parry you and hit you with a 70 damage combo, fully optimized, break you through the wall, bust you through the floor, you know, all that stuff. That's just not good, man. It's boring to watch. Like, watching two people play around about like 3, 4, 5 frames difference, you know? -5. Nina doesn't really lose her turn on -5. I don't lose my turn. She doesn't really lose hers. You know, -5, we can still play around. -1, +1. You know, right there, I might make something miss by going into the Hayashida step. Which this should not be an automatic stance transition. Do not do that. I don't want to see that. Anyway, when competitive Tekken looks its best, it's not with people doing stuff like this. Okay? This is a really old string Nina's always had. You know, this is big Tekken. But like, you see this? This is this should be -12 or maybe 13, 14. But it serves a purpose. It's a big homing move. Or they could just make it a high, you know, duckable, so then there is some counterplay. But really, this move is hard to punish at -10, and it's really far away. It's just, there's no downside to it, you know? But if I do down forward 1 and she blocks it, there's a million things she could do. She could step, She could challenge the frames. She could go for a counter hit. She could go for a counter hit. You know, there's so many things she can do. And at +1, anything can happen. That is more intense, more intelligent, and more enjoyable than seeing who can, I don't know. Why does this exist? This was a running move. You already made running moves easier. Now QCF 1+2 does the same thing. What's the point of that? Yeah, like, neutral is more interesting with poking, tactical, like chess match type stuff. When are you gonna throw out the big move, you know, and get absolutely blown up for it, or you know, get a big counter hit or something like that? That's exciting. It doesn't all have to be like, I don't know. Stop designing the game like it's TikTok, you know? Like, I don't know. That's my 10, 20 cents, whatever. But my call to action is to like and subscribe, because I make unbelievably good content like this all the time. And I'm not a doom and gloom kind of guy. Did they lie to us? Absolutely. They absolutely lied about what the game would be and what it will become. And that's okay, because nobody clicks this video. Tekken 8 predictions for the tournament scene. My prediction is it's going to be boring as shit, and they have a lot of work to do. So, yeah. There you go. Hopefully they will start making Tekken small again. It doesn't matter how good you are, you know, as a beginner. You'll still enjoy dumb stuff like this, you know? You'll still enjoy doing this in neutral, alright? You'll still, just mashing buttons, stuff like this. You'll still enjoy this. I used to have a great time just doing this against my friends, and this is the only launcher I used. I thought the other launchers were stupid. I don't. and just every now and again a throw, you know? I also thought this was amazing. Add new stuff to the game, by all means. Add new stuff to the game. But if it's not small Tekken, if it doesn't preserve that beautiful neutral game that everybody loves, then make that shit for scrubs, okay? You know? Running 1+2, like point blank, used to be hard to do. Now anybody can do it. You've already made the execution for good stuff like really easy. Although this is steppable, it is pretty linear, and it should stay that way. And it's a heat engager. I don't know that any heat engager should be plus. Maybe they should take the heat engager off that. But knowing when to throw one of these out, you know, for the big counter hit, knowing when to step and do all this stuff, that's still exciting, you know. Using small moves that are that can be like high reward if you use them properly, that leaves the meta intact. And scrubs like me, back whenever I was trying to get Grandmaster in teal ranks in Tekken 7, and I was running up from point blank doing this, you know, and just doing this like it was the best thing in the world. Although I've been using it recently because people play so crazy in ranked right now, I've been doing all this string stuff again, you know, because it's working right now. People just I don't know if they're just so worried. That is so much big Tekken, that should be blown up from a mile away. There should be a ton of counterplay to this, you know? But this is a relatively safe thing to do in this game. It's just bam, 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 bam. Yes, you can duck the last part, but, I mean, you should be able to walk away from that shit. You shouldn't have to just, like, endure the entire mix-up. I don't know. It's bad. It's big Tekken, and it's not good, and it shouldn't be good, you know? So anyway, that's my thoughts. That's me predicting the Tekken 8 tournament scene. And, yeah. I guess I'll catch you on the next one. I'm gonna cook some rice, cook some eggs, and if I've got some time later, I might stream some gameplay. And, yeah, it'll be a little more lighthearted because I won't be dooming and glooming about how the game is in terrible shape. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, thanks so much for watching with Knee being the best Brian player ever, and the state that Brian's in, Brian Fury, he may win every tournament. Who knows? But anyway, hopefully the nerfs will be good. Hopefully Tekken Team will re-earn everybody's trust, and hopefully it'll all be for the best. So that would be great. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Adios.